We're
And
back. We are back.
are we now?
We are now.
Cool. Wonderful. Welcome back, everybody. We are
Now?
here to continue our third portion of the evening.
It's the third portion of the evening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Where
he's been
it
helping.
gets silly. Because the rest of the evening hasn't been.
Well, Dennis has started in on his wine.
What's this now?
Well, I was just
You
saying,
know what?
you started in on your wine. I'm 3 beers deep, so we'll just continue shoveling mud into that hole as we go.
I haven't gone cross-eyed yet, so I'm doing something okay.
That's good.
That's probably for the best.
Indeed. Do we want to answer John's question about who's our favorite brand?
Yeah.
We will, but just first, just a heads up, John, just love that you're joining us live and you can shout out some questions, but there's some questions that are cool to answer on air with a whole bunch of other people listening and watching. And there's other questions that definitely have to be texted between me and you. So we'll just leave that at that. And yeah, party on. Party on.
Indeed. Did somebody say mud in that hole? Because Justin caught it.
I sure did,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
I thought Justin would catch the mud in the hole.
I don't like it. I don't like anything about that.
No one should catch that. Stand clear. Just stand.
Wear your fucking masks. No.
Even then, stand clear.
Oh, absolutely. Am I the only one with like a positive answer for who the favorite brand is?
Oh, I know who my favorite Grant brand is.
We do.
Okay, cool. So who wants to go first?
He
I'll
started.
go. It's an obvious answer for me. It's Benchmade.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, yeah, I love other companies. Just bought a ZT, just bought several other things. The Riot, the Wii knives. I'll experiment. I'll go crazy. I'm not scared to do it. But at the end of the day, when Benchmade comes out with a new knife, just like Box, I'm like, oh yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing over there? Like, yeah. So, yeah, that's an easy answer. Despite their flaws, because I'm the first one to admit all of the flaws they have, whether it's centering, whether it's blade grinds, whether it's broken Omega springs, whether it's the fact that they should switch over to the fact Omega springs for every model, because that's just a smarter thing to do. But
If they did
regardless,
that, I would rebuy so many of my Benchmades, or at least I would order replacement springs for all my Benchmades.
and every smart Benchmade knife collector should. But like, yeah. Other than that, that's still my brand of choice. So
Okay.
Justin is writing some fanfic in our group chat that I'm not going to repeat on air.
So, Joe,
I
have
don't-
you figured out how to mute Justin yet?
No, and I don't like it.
I think we can block people. I'm just saying.
Can we? Oh shit, we can. Oh no, I can block
The
people.
important
I can
thing
kick
is-
them.
I
Is
know
that I'm not gonna take a picture of it.
Shabazz blocks trolls all the time. So
Well, the guy's the most popular YouTube knife-related channel. Of course, he's got to know how to block trolls.
and I
For
like
the
Justin's quips, so we won't block him yet.
No.
Anyway.
That's it. For the record, I took a picture. We will be having the discussion afterwards, but we're not going there on camera.
Okay.
Indeed. On to our next question, or
No.
wait.
No. The other three of us need to respond.
Right.
Yeah.
Go right ahead, Joe.
Well, Nigel answered Benchmade as well, so I'd like to
Sorry,
hear
man.
from Nigel first.
Sorry.
I just did a quick count here, and probably 2/3, 3/4 of my collection is Benchmade stuff. Wasn't entirely a conscious decision. It's just something that I gravitate to a lot of their designs and like what they do.
Indeed.
If you had asked me maybe a year and a half to 2 years after I got into knives, I would have answered Benchmade, 100%. I think I forced myself to stop falling in love with everything they do because I wear through Omega Springs very quickly, and we talked about just a moment ago about the fact Omega Springs being superior. They are. Um, one of the knives I will never get rid of, regardless, though, is the Benchmade Adamas. This is probably my favorite knife for like hard use outdoors activities, and it is just stupid comfortable in the hand. Hey, maybe there's a trend as far as the type of knives I like, as far as ergonomics. But
Yep.
Benchmade, they do so much right that I want the lock system to work for me. So my answer has to be Spyderco, because everything they've produced, I should rephrase that. There's not much that they have produced that I wouldn't like to own. I like that they work with so many different designers, that they've innovated in so many different ways. Like, they came up with the pocket clip. They're the ones who propagated that. The compression lock is a really, really freaking cool lock, and I say that as somebody who does not own a PM2, and still claims to be a Spyderco fanboy.
They're pretty great.
Yeah, their fit and finish, both from the American factories and the Taiwanese factories, are pretty good. Taiwanese factories a little bit more so, I think. They just do so much right that I love using their knives. It's got to be Spyderco. But if Benchmade could get their shit together and make everything either a coil spring or the fact springs, you might have a bit of a battle. Yeah, for my allegiance there.
Allegiance.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll come as any surprise that ZT is probably my favorite brand. They're the knife that I own the most of, I'm pretty sure. If it's not them, it's Benchmade. Benchmade is a very close second, if I'm being honest, and it has been creeping. That Anthem really kind of will open your eyes to a lot of the really nice things that Benchmade makes. But for now, it's still ZT.
They do a lot right. Yeah.
Indeed. Justin also chimed in and said that if you asked him until last year, he wouldn't have said Benchmade. But last year he bought 6 in a row. So it's hard to deny this.
That'll happen. That'll happen some.
Yep.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's probably why I have so many, quite honestly.
And I think we can all probably agree that the honorable mention is probably Bark River.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as fixed blades goes, it's Bark River. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we all own some, and they're not a perfect company either. But at the end of the day, go out and pound on one, and they perform absolutely awesome.
They give you a very quality product. I mean, their warranty alone speaks for itself, I think. But just normally when you get a warranty like that with a lot of consumer products, it's not a very good product. It's just something where they just ship you a new one because it's so cheap to produce. But in Bark River's case, every single one of their knives is it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen anything in any of your collections, because I only have the one that I really like, but I don't have much opportunity to use that kind of knife. But every single one that I've seen out of your guys' collection, it's like, yeah, I'd buy that. They're super cool.
There's a couple that I covet in all 3 of your collections, actually.
You won't own them, Paul. You just won't own them. Just come to terms with it now.
No, I know. I'm accepting it. But doesn't mean that I don't want to.
If I thought I could survive robbing Dennis of his limited production dagger, I wouldn't make it off his front lawn.
It's a long way to go.
It's a big one.
I'm just realizing now that the question that I asked on Saturday morning, I actually asked twice for some reason. So,
way to fail.
I actually appreciate the fact that nobody took it and went with it and just answered the question twice over every time.
I appreciate. I was gonna say I appreciate our viewers' restraint.
Justin's also saying that we need to borrow one of his, or borrow a bussy. Apparently that'll change our opinion about some knives.
I've heard Bussy's pretty good stuff, and I've handled a couple. I've never used. I've just handled and felt, and yeah, pretty good. As soon as they get that high quality sheath to go with it, so I can carry it around in something other than a goddamn paper sleeve.
Yeah.
Yep, that's like how I made the reference to the car tires about the edge and it coming sharp. That's one of those things as well, is the fixed blade should come with a sheath.
Mass-produced Kydex is pretty inexpensive nowadays.
And the average person doesn't have access to tools to make their own sheaths. You should be selling your knives, if they're fixed blades, with sheaths. It's just kind of straightforward.
Especially for the price point that Booseed sells them for.
Yes. Yes. Yep. I agree 1,000%. Although their handles look extremely comfortable, I'm not gonna lie, on some of the models.
Just bring me up to speed. What would a Bussy normally go for?
You're looking at
5 to 8.
Like
400 to 800, depending on the size of it.
If you're
it better come with a goddamn good sheath.
Yeah.
I want a Kydex / leather sheath. I want both.
No, sir. You get 2 pieces of cardboard duct taped together that your knife is put into a box and shipped to you. Like
he's not exaggerating.
When you go down to meet the mailman, does he just throw the box at you too?
Yeah. Just yay.
Since COVID, yeah, probably.
Especially since COVID.
Touche. Justin saying that apparently the pricing is between 400 and 1,500, depending on size and rarity.
Yeah. And if
they could get up there for like some of their rare ones or their limited run stuff, but yeah, the general range.
And I think the swamp rat stuff can be like 400 to 800.
Yeah,
it's a lot of dollar reduce.
Like Nigel, can you imagine? You make custom stuff. Can you imagine selling somebody a custom knife and not offering or giving them a sheath of any kind, and just being like, "Here, you figure it out."
Yeah, like
give me $1,200.
The only exception would be a kitchen knife, and even then, you should probably add in a saya or something like that.
There should be a box, or there should be.
Don't tell me what to add in. I'm gonna sell you a paring knife, and it's gonna be like, walk away, figure it out, put it in your block.
Yeah,
put it in your block.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you a shirt, Dennis.
Put it. I'm not gonna.
For the record, have you seen my block? It's a pretty block.
It is a pretty block.
It's a pretty block. I'll give you that.
It's one of the nicer blocks I've seen.
I'm just realizing now I may not have actually said out loud what this next question is. So
that I got asked twice.
Failed 3 times on it. What's the most fidget-friendly knife, and what makes it so?
I'm more interested in our viewers' responses than I am in ours, because I'm pretty sure I know ours for the most part.
Yeah, let's start off right away with Kiefer. Unfortunately, he's no longer here. That's made it sound like he died. He's fine. He had to leave for the night.
Jesus, Paul. He's no longer with us. What? Did he died while watching our video? Jesus Christ.
On Tuesday, you have to hashtag RIP Kiefer.
Oh.
I like it. Yeah, Kiefer's response was the Sage 5. Multiple opening methods.
And the compression lock for most people is convenient and fun to play with, so I can give it to him. I
like how you slide that for most people qualifier.
That's because the compression lock sucks. I would own an Akuchi if the compression lock didn't suck.
Yep.
I understand.
As a righty, compression locks are amazing. And you're wrong. And they're great.
I can appreciate from a distance.
Not even touching that.
Please don't. Not even from a distance.
Nope. Justin saying that he likes anything with bearings and an access lock, which As far as I know, that's the Anthem, isn't it?
It's not the wrong
Um,
answer.
It may not be exclusively like anything with bearings and also access locks.
Yeah, there was also the was it the Precinct that had a flipper and ball bearings?
The
Oh, it
Precinct.
didn't have an access lock.
Yeah, it was a
Is it
liner
the
lock.
Benson
Yeah.
300?
The 300 didn't
no.
have bearings.
300 was washers. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was one
that
of the
would make
worst.
sense.
It's one of the worst Benchmade flippers. I still kind of like it.
So, to my knowledge, he's talking about the Anthem.
Yep.
So when Justin says bearing, he meant like bearing like the Mannix, or like the Dodo or something like that.
Oh, I see. I see
That
what
makes
you mean.
sense.
Oh,
That can be
okay. Yeah. So basically,
Wow.
like a pull kind of action. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically anything with a secret feature. So I would play into like, what's the snap lock from CRKT, the psych that you have, anything that has an odd way of opening. What's that
any
one
of
from?
any of the double actions that are out there? I know we
Yeah,
can't.
is he meaning the access lock with a secret feature to it, sort of thing?
Yeah.
Oh well, I have the 530 that has.
Yeah.
The Pardue.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, that's technically still legal in Canada, and I find that fact hilarious. It's so stupid.
Yep. What's the one from Spyderco that has like the slide scale?
Oh, the
Meerkat.
Meerkat.
Oh, I was thinking of the.
That's what I was thinking when I said secret feature.
I was thinking of the Janice song, but we can't get. But we can't get
No.
that here.
Or I think maybe the Salsa had a similar opening mechanism as the Meerkat as well. I don't 100% remember.
Yeah, I'm not
The
sure.
Salsa might have just been a slip joint, but yeah.
Is it the friction? No. What's the one from CRKT where you slide the
glide
whole
lock.
scale?
The salsa. That's
The
like
whole
a.
scale.
That's like a proto compression lock.
Never mind.
That's a compression lock.
That's weird.
What the?
Compression frame lock.
Dennis, you've inadvertently blown my brain.
The Salsa? There was more than one version of a Salsa. There were sprint run versions of a Salsa.
Okay.
Mhm.
Which sprint run are you talking about?
I don't know. But it
The
had
one that
scales. It
potentially
had
had the same
handles
sort of lock
on
like
it.
a meerkat.
Apparently, it wasn't like a Meerkat, though.
No,
That's
as
wrong.
far as I can tell, they've always had the compression lock. Has the compression lock been around that long? Dennis, what
the
rabbit?
ATR,
You've picked
the
me up.
ATR was over 10 years ago.
You've picked me up and you've yeeted me down a fucking rabbit hole here. 'Cause I'm
Hey, Joe, we're live.
Dude.
Stay with us here, Joe.
I
Get out the,
understand.
With
get out
us
the
here.
Joe.
Titanium frame lock, compression lock. What the
I
hell?
understand what you're saying.
I'm putting my phone away because I'm going to be distracted. That is
Thank
amazing.
you.
What the hell? Okay.
So Meerkat, you say?
The Meerkat's a
Indeed.
fun one. In a similar vein.
John is saying he's back. What are we talking about? We're talking about the knives we like to fidget with. I don't know why this is fidget for me,
The
but
most fidgety knife you've got. Yeah. You've got some other viewers' answers still, right, Paul?
I got plenty. Yep.
All right, let's dive in.
Next one up is the finest tradition. He responded with his 940 because it's broken in just perfectly. It's buttery smooth.
Yeah.
A broken in 940 is a beautiful thing, by the way.
Okay, and if you know the finest tradition as well from Instagram, his buck 110 passion is through the roof. He loves himself a buck 110.
They're classy.
But not the most fidget friendly. So I love the fact that he threw out the 940 as being one of his favorites, right? So
Absolutely.
That's it. This actually, we got a new response, a new responder this week,
Very
which
cool.
is 13 Matthew P06. He responded with probably a Spyderco smock. Button lock is so much fun with the flipper.
Yep,
You're not wrong.
that's a fair answer.
Yeah. It's definitely not the wrong answer. Mr. Fisk said the Anthem,
Yep.
which is also a fantastic option. It is so drop shutty. I can't quite do the same thing that you did there with your Pardue, Dennis, but I can get it to open 9 times out of 10 by just leaning it slightly forward. A lot of fun to play with.
Just the smoothness of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to handle that today, and I keep forgetting just how smooth it is now. It's a little scary how easily it comes out of that lockup. It's just a cool knife.
It's been well loved and carried often and played with and flicked and yeah. I've taken it apart a few times and cleaned it out. Don't
New
touch it.
tier on Patreon.
I'm gonna. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah. We all know where you were going with that.
fantastic.
No, sir. I don't like it.
Oh, I miss Ren and Stimpy.
The next responder we got was from Zing CDC. He said Benchmade Griptilian, the access lock, which part of the reason why I think a lot of us might own Benchmades is because of that fidget factor to a certain degree. Justin saying next Patreon video. No. No. Calling it now.
I think we can still get banned from Patreon if we do stuff like that, so...
I know Justin hasn't subscribed to the Patreon yet. So, I mean, he doesn't know the full extent of the ridiculousness that was our first video.
The debauchery.
Oh, it was
The
so much
link
fun.
to our Feats only OnlyFans page is in Patreon. Go have fun. Don't do that.
Please don't.
And don't go there for that because you'll be sorely disappointed.
See, the sirens are already going.
The police are coming for me for that one. That's fair.
Taking off the headphones. All right, that's enough.
Yeah. On that note, Gear in Situ responded with anything Axis Locky. Again, apparently Benchmades are high on the list of fidget fun.
It's hard to beat a Benchmade in terms of fidget factor. Like, man.
I mean, even given P&W says mini bug out because of the size and the access lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole bunch of Benchmade as responses.
That last answer actually jives with my answer as well, which is like a ballet or the mini H&K, and they're just that perfect size, like a mini bug out, where they sit in your hand and you can just drop them shut, and all sorts of like just quick fidgety action, right? But to counter argue that something with like a smooth as hell titanium frame lock where you just release the frame and the whole blade just kind of shakes closed. Mm-hmm. I should have done that with a knife that actually does that, like my pen. So yeah, something like that is just ridiculous when you have it happen. Yeah.
There's a reason why I like this Rook knife so much. And it's, you pay very little comparatively for what you're getting in this package.
What do you mean? You saying something was overspent?
I do get that out of my Sabenza as well. Like, just drop shutty. If you're not careful, it'll bite your thumb. But it squicks me out a little every time it bites into my thumbnail. I'm like, oh, okay. I know how sharp that knife is.
there is magic that happens when you combine bronze phosphor washers and titanium. And we've all seen it happen multiple knives. They just seem to perform better than the components that go into it. Like, there are bronze phosphor knives out there that have a smoother, more buttery action than a knife with ball bearings. Like, my Anthem is smooth as hell, but that Subvert, just the way it functions, feels really nice. It was the Vidar by not Vidar, sorry.
The
Vicar.
Vicar, yeah.
Yeah, the Vidar, yeah.
By Benchmade.
That's
and how buttery smooth that thing was.
That's a knife I regret not picking up. That's probably I never had a shot at the gold class Vidar or Vicar, but that's one that I really would love to have at some point. Like, crazy cool. And Paul's not joking around as far as the smoothness of that buttery action. Like I was just saying, how for every bit as smooth as my Sebenza is, the Vicar was like that out of box. I can't imagine what a worn in one would be like in terms of action. Like, holy crap.
Yeah, if it didn't have that green G10 at a time when I wasn't looking for green G10, I would have been all over that knife. I looked at that numerous times coming into the shop.
See, and for me, it was the mistake of, I got plenty of S30. I should have just bought it. I should have just bought it.
And by mistake, he means the right answer of, I have plenty of S30, and that knife's overpriced for S30, like a Subvert.
Look, every...
That knife is also overpriced for what you were getting.
Right, but I mean, in terms of want versus need, do I need anything better than a GB2? I don't. I really don't.
This was the knife that I picked over it. And I'm not saying that this is the wrong choice.
For a GB2, you mean?
No, picked over against the Vidar.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now I'm just sad.
John and Mississauga saying honorable mention to jiggle shut bearing stuff, which I like that combination of words. I know exactly what you're saying, but also that combination of words just sounds silly to me when you say it out loud, and I love it.
The jiggle shut bearings? Yeah. I mean, me and Joe both have the 804, which is the jiggle shot. Like,
yeah.
Your GGC is weird.
It is. It's not the same by any stretch, but GTC is an Italian designer, isn't he?
Yeah,
sure.
I'm reasonable. I think so.
Us Italians make some weird stuff, and I love it.
Yeah. Some of the custom stuff out of Italy is... Paris and Italy both have some weird knife makers that are making some just really creepy looking stuff that I really want to see more of. It's just strange.
That's it. On that note, we're kind of at the end of the questions, unless we have questions from the audience.
Well, I'll pop in with my answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a weird one in the knife community, and parts of my OCD, I hate random clicking noises. All these guys know how much I get on them when they're just sitting there fidgeting with their knives. It drives me insane.
Yeah.
So there's very few times that I'll actually fidget with my knife because it bugs me, even if I'm fidgeting with it. But if I do, definitely the Benchmade stuff or the access lock.
It's the most
I was
quiet.
going to say, I've caught you playing with your bailout.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, if I do play with anything, it's the access lock.
But that's because of how quiet it is if you're controlling it, right? Like, it's not as... So, Nigel hates this knife, the induction.
Oh,
because
it's got such a weird, gross double click twang to it.
There's two working plungers inside this knife. The first one clicks when you deploy the blade. The second one clicks as you open it, and then it clicks again when it hits the stop pin. It's pretty ridiculous. I don't carry this knife when I know I'm working with Nigel because I don't want to make him upset.
Thank God both plungers are working, because if only one plunger was working, that would not work.
No, it would not.
So yeah, I've gotten into playing with random things. Sure, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but it's like a Beglary. It's a little fidget toy sort of idea. Just 2 balls on a rope and you can spin it around and it's quiet.
2 balls on a rope.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm over it.
Oh, you were going to say?
A memoir?
No, I thought there was a question there. Sorry.
No, what I was going to say is that part of the reason why I like this GTC so much is because of the spring that you have on the flipper. When you flick this knife open, it also has a double noted twang to it. And it's something that you don't really hear often in the knife community because it's usually just click open, done.
Yeah.
But there is certain knives like the GB, definitely the GB1, if not the GB2, where it's got this nice solid crack that I know this one in particular drives Nigel crazy on the clack that the Gale Bradley has.
Yeah, there's definitely certain tones that bug me more than others, and like the resonance of them and stuff.
That's actually.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say, in terms of a quiet knife for around Nigel, this Voking Knives is actually pretty quiet. Like, that's a failed deployment, but it's pretty subtle. So
it's louder on the close.
Yeah, there's not a lot to it, but yeah, some of these knives, Dennis is right. Definitely the Gale Bradley. Even if you're opening it slowly, it has a really distinctive kind of clack. I think with the GB1, because the liners are so much thicker, you get a much more of a ka-chunk when it comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, nothing to speak of the spring-assisted monstrosity that we all own.
Yeah.
Does it bother you, Nigel, when you open your blur?
That one's not too bad.
Fair enough.
One of the, as much as I said that for me, if I do get fidgety, the access lock, I hate the regular production of the Griptilians with the Velox how loud those clack. Oh my god, I hate those ones.
I think we all do in terms of the sound it makes. It's just not. It's so
obnoxious sounding,
and it sounds cheap, but it's so loud for being so cheap. For those of you who have not had the displeasure, next time you get the option to hold a full-scale, not bailout, Jesus, Griptilian, just whack the thing open, just flick the thumb stud and listen to that lockup, and it's got this weird acoustic reverb to it that just doesn't sit right with any of us. I think partly because it's plastic. I mean, it's
hollow.
GRN or whatever, but
I don't know how many people would remember the CRKT Triumph, but I mean, it sounded like a cymbal going off.
Dude, that one was brutal.
It was like having
a spring that was
it's
going
like,
off.
Hey, and that would buy this knife. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That would depend on knife to knife because it had just in between the two liners, it just had one bar for the tension for the assist. So if that bar was perfectly centered and didn't rub on the scales, it would hum like a tuning fork.
I was just gonna say, it's a built-in feature. You buy a knife and you get a tuning fork out of the deal. Like, how can you go wrong? Actually, I gotta say, this is one of my oldest knives. I don't have it here, but the CRKT Hale, I actually de-assisted that knife for that particular reason. When you opened it, it went boom, and it would hold that note. It was like, no. So I took it out. And to be fair, the action was so stupid smooth without the assist. It's like, why the hell did they even ship this with an assist in the first place? But Yeah, the CRKT. I think it's because their assist mechanism is it's a leaf spring that sits in the backspacer of the knife, and it floats between the handles. There's no real contact between anything else.
Yeah, a
Whereas,
single bar that flicks forward. Type
yeah,
thing,
whereas this guy has like there's nothing in between the handles because the spring is actually inside one of them, and it's pulling the handle around. With Benchmade, they have a coil spring that sits inside the pivot, so none of those have a weird after effect. But CRKT's Outburst it can have a really weird sound to it, and I'm just not a fan of it. It's pretty awful, to be honest.
Quickly interject. John and Mississauga likes your balls there, Nigel.
Yeah, I did them myself. They're just a monkey fist on each end.
Nice.
I've seen people do simple things as just do a couple nuts and then just a knot on the end to hold the nuts on place, sort of thing.
You don't want your nuts flying around.
Balls.
Justin is giggling at rope ball thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Rachel.
We all know what it is. The kids don't, but we do. Yes.
Perfect. And then John is saying that the Griptilian sounds like those old like ball clacker toys you get from the dollar store where they clack back and forth.
But at least with those wooden clackers, they're wood. They sound just a little bit better than the plastic does. But it's such a small amount.
No, he means like the plastic ones that were a big rage in the
They're
90s.
Triangular with balls on the end, and they clack back and forth.
You're too young.
Those things. No, I remember them. I've seen them. I hated them. I'm on board now. Yes,
yeah, that's what the grip sound like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody had one.
I did not, thank God.
I annoyed a lot of siblings with that little.
Stop it! I'm watching TV.
I'm the youngest of 5, so there was a lot of siblings to
do it faster.
You got to get them back somehow.
Yeah.
I got beat on so bad.
You deserved it.
Maybe a
little.
Yes,
I did.
On that note, unless we have more answers, we don't have any more questions. It is getting to be 9:30.
Yeah. No, I think that's a pretty good place to wrap it up.
That's it.
My quick answer, Smock.
Yeah.
Dennis, did you get to answer?
I did. The valet.
Right.
The H&K. Those two little guys that sit in your palm.
Yeah.
And are just super easy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
On board with like the mini bug out size. Same idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So yeah, that sounds like it's going to be that. Make sure to head on over to the Patreon and check out all those tiers. Join up, even if it's for one of the lower end tiers, and you'll get access to some exclusive content and whatnot like that. So have a look and see what's there.
Indeed.
And on top of that, if you do get into the $10 tier, I mean, we do have our giveaway. I believe the giveaway is going on for the entire month of August, so we'll
Yes, indeed.
throughout the following weeks. Yeah.
That's it. If you're curious as to what is in that giveaway, you can head on over to Instagram, give us a follow over there. We've got a picture up of what we're giving away. We're basically doing a first place, second place kind of thing. Head on over there.
Even runner-up prize is well worth more than $10 for sure.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, Canadian, we're looking at $100 giveaway, give or take type of thing for a runner-up prize. So $10 is well worth it to get your name in the hat for either or. And right now, there's only 2 people. So someone's winning grand prize and someone's winning
chances.
Runner-up.
Yeah.
Your odds are silly right now to get in the hat. Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
That they are. So yeah, that being that, this is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Swipers.
I'm the Iron Joe.
XL.ca.
We will catch you again next time.